Hi everyone, it's Lindy on here from Pink Whisper Designs. Today we're going to make some really fun holiday gift card holders. We're going to be using lots of images and dies from Fawn. So let's go ahead and get started. So to get started, we're going to grab this envelope die here. And this is from the small stitched envelope die set from Fawn. And for paper, I'm going to be using the paper bag, one of the grays from the neutral set, and then I'm also going to be using some Strathmore Bristol Smooth 100-pound cardstock. So I'm going to go ahead and run those through my Spellbinders Platinum 6 machine. And now you can see I have 2 out of the craft cardstock, 1 out of the gray, and then 1 out of the white Strathmore Bristol Smooth cardstock. So to assemble these little envelopes, you just want to fold on the score lines on the top and the bottom and on the 2 sides, and that's going to give you those 2 little tabs here. So that's going to fold up, so we only want to put tape right up to that line there. I'm just going to put a little pencil mark there, and then I'm taking my 1/4 inch score tape from Fawn, and I'm just going to go ahead and tape these down. I'm removing the backing, and then again I'm just going to fold that up, and that's going to create this cute little gift card pocket. And we're going to be decorating the front side of these. So you can also add your glue or your tape down here at the bottom if you don't want to mark it off with a pencil. Just make sure you stay right along the edges there and then fold that up as well. So either way works just fine. So now we have all of our little gift card envelopes. For critters, I'm going to be using these 4 little critters here, and you get all the little coordinating sentiments as well. And this is from the Say What Christmas Critters set. Now for ink, I'm using the VersaFine Onyx Black ink. This is a permanent jet black ink. I'm going to ink up these images and stamp them. And again, I'm using the Strathmore Bristol Smooth cardstock. To do my coloring, I'm using Sugared Almond Pink, Dark Brown, and Beige. And these are the Zig Clean Color Real Brush pens. I'm going to start with that lighter beige color and then add a little bit of that darker brown and then blend those out. I'm using the blender pen from Zig to do my blending, but these are water-based markers, so you can also use a water brush here as well. To change colors, you just want to scribble that blender pen onto some scrap paper, and then you can go on to your next color once it goes clear. So here I'm just adding a little bit of a shadow up underneath the chin here and pulling that down. And then adding a little shadow down at the bottom of my little reindeer and pulling that up towards the middle. I'm going to add a little bit of gray to the hoofs on the little reindeer. And I'm just adding a little bit and then pulling it off to the side. And if you get too much ink on your blender, just scribble it off onto your scrap paper. You can also remove ink from your paper as well, just by, again, scribbling it onto the ink color and then lifting it off and scribbling it onto your scrap paper. So now with wine red, bright yellow, dark gray, and light gray, I'm going to do my little penguin. I'm starting off with that bright yellow just on his feet and on his nose, and then I'm using the wine red on the little cap. And then to do his body, I'm going to use the grays. I'm using that lighter gray right in the center there just to create a little bit of a shadow. Now you could use black here, but I do find sometimes with the black in these small areas, a little bit goes a long way. And sometimes it's hard to control the color as well. So I decided to use a darker gray here instead. And then a little bit of Sugared Almond Pink on the cheeks. And I'll be putting that on the cheeks of all these little critters. Then with gray, peach pink, light gray, and Sugared Almond Pink, I'm going to go ahead and color in the little llama. And this little llama is just so cute. So I'm going to add a little bit of that light gray around the edges here and just pull that in a little bit, keeping it mostly white. Then adding a little bit of that gray color to the hooves and just blending that out. And then I'm going to use that pink, that darker pink color to do the scarf. Now for the little unicorn, I'm going to use sugared almond pink, beige, and dark brown. Again, adding that pink to the cheeks and a little pink on the little horn on the unicorn. And then I'm going to use the beige color to do the rest of this little guy. And then I'll use a little bit of that dark brown on the hooves and just blend that out. So just some really simple coloring here. Now that I have those all colored in, I'm going to grab the coordinating dies. I'm going to tape those down with a little bit of purple tape, and I'll run those through my Sizzix Sidekick machine. So once I've got all of these die cut, I want to add a little red nose to my little reindeer. I want to make him look a little bit like Rudolph. So I'm going to be taking some Nouveau Crystal Drops, and I'm using the red berry, and I'm just going to add a little dot there to his nose, and then we can set that aside to dry. So next, I want to add a panel to the front of my gift card holder. I'm going to grab this third largest rectangle here, and that's going to fit on the front, and that's the outside in stitched rectangle Stackables die. For paper, I'm using the Let It Shine 6x6 inch Petite paper pack, and I'm grabbing the ones that have the little dots in them. So we've got the beige, the blue, the red, and the pink. And I'm going to die cut each of those with that rectangle die. So I'm going to again run these through my Sizzix Sidekick machine. And that's going to leave a nice stitched border all the way around this panel. So now that we have those 4 die cut, we need to cut a few more. We're going to cut actually 4 out of some Strathmore Bristol Smooth cardstock and 2 out of the Sparkle Pixie Dust cardstock from Lawn Fawn. So we're going to go ahead and die cut all of those. So we've got 4 of the colored ones, 2 from the Pixie Dust, and 4 from the Strathmore Bristol Smooth cardstock. I'm going to grab a border die here, and I'm going to grab this one and place it down at the bottom of one of the panels of the Pixie Dust cardstock that we cut, and I'm going to run that through my die cutting machine. And these are the stitched Hillside border dies. So I'm going to go to the other side of this panel and die cut a second one. So I can get 2 of these out of each of these panels. So I'll have 4 when I'm done, and that's going to give a stitched border all the way around. So now these sentiments, I want to grab the word from each. Dear, cool, llama, and magical are the words that I'm looking for. So I'm going to create those words using my alphabet dies. And these are the Kohl's ABC dies. So I'll go ahead and cut the word dear out of the red and white striped paper. And for these other papers, so the blue one is going to be for the word cool for the penguin. The llama, the word llama is going to be in the pink stripe, and the word magical for the unicorn is going to be out of the beige. So you'll see what I mean here in a second. And then I'm also going to die cut some extra letters out of the white cardstock. This is again the Strathmore Bristol Smooth. I'm using my Lawn Fawn glue tube, and I'm just going to glue these together. That's going to give us a little bit thicker letter here, just a little bit more of a thick embellishment. Now with my Pitt Artist pen in the 0.1 millimeter black, I thought I would add some stitching all around the edges of these letters because I am going for a kind of monochromatic look. I don't want these to fade out on the little panel that we're creating because we're going to do the red dotted one with the red stripes. So to make them pop a little bit more, I'm adding stitching all the way around these little letters. And this just takes a little time to do, but you'll see here it makes a big difference. And I just do it freehand. It's really easy to do. Now you could skip this if you want to, but I just think it adds a little something extra. So I've got all my words ready to go. So now I'm going to grab this little tree from the Winter Sky stamp and die set. And I'm going to stamp 12 of these. That's going to be 3 for each of our little gift card holders. For ink, I'm using deep green, light green, and pale green to do my coloring. So I'm just going to start with that lightest color, add the medium green just right up underneath those little sections there, and then add my darkest green. And then I'm using the blender to pull that out, just pulling it down, leaving a little shadow again between each of those little sections. And for the trunks of the trees, I'm using beige and dark brown. And I'll color in all 12 of these the exact same way. And then I've grabbed the coordinating die and I'm going to run these through the Sizzix Sidekick machine. So now I want to stamp the sentiments on each of the panels. So for this first one, it says, "You're such a dear." So I'm going to position this on my acrylic block and I want to mask off the word dear. I just want to stamp "You're such a" because we're going to be using those alphabet letters we cut out to place the word dear on here. So "You're such a" up in the upper left hand corner here. And I've stamped that with the VersaFine Onyx Black ink. Now for the blue panel, I'm going to have to separate this one because it says "Have a cool holiday." So I first need to mask off the bottom here so I can get "Have a." So I'll go ahead and ink up the stamp. And then you want to make sure you remove your mask. And for the masking, I'm just using a Post-it note here. So go ahead and stamp that sentiment. And now I want to clean off the stamp really well. And then I'm going to flip that mask over and block off the top part of the sentiment. And then ink that up, remove the mask, and stamp the word holiday. So it's really that simple just to do some quick and simple masking. And I did that for the other 2 panels as well. So now that those are all set, I can go ahead and start assembling my little panels. So I'm adding my snowbank here. And then I'm going to add my little trees and my reindeer. So for the reindeer, I want to pop this up a little bit. So I'm going to use some foam mounting tape. And I'm going to position that down here in the lower right hand corner. And then if you have a sentiment there on the right hand side, you'll want to adjust your little critter to wherever that sentiment is there. Now for the trees, I'm just going to tuck one of these behind that little snowbank, and then I'm going to place these other 2 right in front here. And you want to make sure they're low enough so you can still fit your letters in the middle here. So for the word dear, I'm just going to play around with these letters until I get the positioning that I like. And then I'm going to go ahead and glue these down. So once those are all glued down, I can go ahead and attach this panel to that white panel that we die cut earlier. And that's just going to give this a little bit more stability here. So that's going to fit on the front of our gift card holder. So I want to pop that up just to give it a little bit more dimension, and also because we're going to be placing some hemp cording around the center here, and I want to leave enough room for that. So just avoid putting foam mounting tape right down the center of this panel because that's where our cording is going to go. So I've placed that foam tape on there. Now I'm going to use some red sparkle hemp cord, and I will list all of the supplies for all of these products down below. And I'm using my 1/4-inch tape, double-sided tape here, and placing a piece of it right down the center of that panel, just to attach this cording to something. I don't want it to slip out from behind there when the recipient opens this little gift card holder. So I'm going to place this right down the center, attaching it to that tape. But just to make sure that stays in place, I'm going to add a little bit more tape. I'm just placing a couple little strips of this 1/4-inch tape over the top there. And now I can go ahead and position this on that panel, and I want to center that. So now you can flip this around, and we're going to just tie a bow on the back of our little gift card holder. I'm using my reverse tweezers just to hold that in place while I tie my bow. And I'll just take a little time here to adjust that, and then I'm going to cut away any excess. And you can see that there, that gives us this cute little gift card holder. Now I wanted to also show you that it perfectly fits a gift card, so that'll easily slide in and out. You could also put a little note card or a tag in there as well. So let me show you each of these. So here's the You're Such a Dear, and he's got his little red reindeer nose there. And then this one is the little unicorn, Have a Magical Holiday. And what's fun and easy about these is they're basically the same exact design. So it's really easy to mass produce these. That one there had a little bit of the Pretty in Pink hemp cord on it. And this one has that same hemp cord. And this one is in the gray. The other one was in the brown. And now we have a white gift card holder here. And that one has the lime hemp cord. And that says Have a Cool Holiday. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe. And don't forget to visit me at pinkwhisperdesigns.com. As always, thank you so much and have a great day. Bye-bye.